So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 13 versus Samsung Galaxy S24 base model speed test. Let's go ahead and begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm kind of curious to see how does one of the most popular selling iPhones of all, well, I don't know about all time, but it's been in the past few years a very popular phone compared to the latest S24, and if you should consider trading it in for that discount to get yourself an S24. We'll see if the performance is that much better. So far, it boots up a little bit faster than the iPhone 13. Keep in mind, Apple A15 Bionic here, 4 gigabytes of RAM. And then over here, we have Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 boosted for Galaxy with also having 8 gigabytes of RAM. So 12 gigs on the S24 Plus and on the Ultra, but here, 8 gigs. So shout out to the wife for sending this phone for review or for the speed test here. This is her phone, so I'm not going to be doing the Face ID test here. Okay, so we have the same apps lined up on both. You could see everything closed out for both phones. Let's begin with weather. And you can see faster on the Samsung here. So a good start for Samsung over there for sure. And I got to say that if you are looking for, an improved performance over prior years of Samsung, you're going to like that App Store, Play Store. You could see it looked like the Samsung was loading, but Apple might have took that. That was tough to see. Let me know which one took it there. That one was Samsung for sure. By the way, who's downloading Call of Duty Warzone when it launches? Let me know down below. That game looks like it's going to be pretty amazing for a smartphone, that's for sure. And are you team console or team mobile gaming? There's a lot of gaming phones out here these days, but personally, I still prefer console gaming. That's just me. Let's go into calculator. Oh, I missed that. She did crack her screen, so I'm not sure if that's going to mess with the tapping. The Samsung usually faster in those base apps with the animations. Let's go into Best Buy. And yeah, they're showing some new drops. So let me go ahead and rerun Best Buy one more time as well. Let's go ahead and run that. Now it'll be launching. Well, see, this one's showing something a little different. So what we're going to do is when we get into the application, we'll go to different sections here to go ahead and see how they perform. And you can see they basically can launch these, in submenus pretty close. Let's go into Groupon. And things like this really showcase why why people are just kind of still okay with things like, older iPhone 13s, iPhone 13 minis. They could still buy these phones and be very, very pleased because the performance really hasn't suffered much at all. Let's go into Amazon. And you can see right there, the Samsung. And people say, well, I don't buy a phone just for speed. That's true, but if your phone starts slowing down, you're definitely going to notice for sure. And if you have a phone with a 60 hertz panel, like the iPhone 13, and you come over to a 120 hertz panel, you'll notice the scrolling improvements. Let's go over here to Starbucks. You'll see that's faster for the Samsung. We'll go into Jetpack Joyride. And you'll see that Jetpack Joyride looks to be ahead here. But the iPhone wins it on the load. Wow. So honestly, after seeing how this 13 is starting to perform here versus this S24 wins there, I'm starting to think that, the chipset improvements to the iPhones are not really being totally taken advantage of unless you specifically do something. That was a little laggy coming out of the Subway Surfer on the left. I'm starting to think it's just kind of like, certain games, certain things might be updated. Was that a crash? I think that was a crash on the iPhone 13. I'm kind of glad that happened though. Oh, it's crashing. Let's go see if that needs an update. I'm kind of glad that happened though, because I wanted to showcase to you, we never see the iPhone ever crash. Doesn't need an update. That is very, very strange. I have no clue what's going on there. Is it going to crash again? Yep, this game is just not working today. So the team needs to get on it for the iPhone 13. Okay, over here you can see Temple Run 2. That was very strange, but I'm leaving it in the video because we never get anything to talk about like that usually. So let's hit no thanks here. We'll hit play on both of these products. And you'll see pretty much same performance. I'm not going to say the iPhone 13 is a bad performer because it crashed the game though. That game simply just didn't want to load today. You could see right here, we are going faster so far for the Galaxy S24. And now coming up here on the iPhone. So quicker for Free Fire. I know a lot of people say Free Fire is not a very demanding game, so who cares? Well, it's still loaded faster on a Samsung. We'll go to COD Mobile. I said Mob. COD Mobile. I might get a little pop-up here, so let me go ahead and cover this up for a second. Now we're going in. The iPhone doesn't have the same pop-up. So with the pop-up, the iPhone actually faster to load this game. When actually in-game though, you do have a 0.1 inch bigger screen for the Samsung. You also have this is more up to date, so probably a little bit better heat performance. Getting too warm might be more noticeable for the 13. So I do think you have a decent amount of a performance upgrade. I think though if you're changing, you're really going to notice just kind of the change in the software, like your experience using the software more than the performance. But I think the S24 is more in line with like an iPhone 15 Pro in performance. So definitely this would be an upgrade, I would say, for even a casual user in terms of performance. They probably would even notice this phone's a little snappier. That doesn't mean that they'll like the phone more though. So it really comes down to your personal subjective take on iOS versus maybe Android, for example, and stuff like that. So you could see Asphalt 9 way out in the lead there on the Samsung, and we'll wait here on the iPhone. I'm not sure if this is downloading something. Looks like it doesn't say it's downloading anything, so I don't know what's going on with that right there. I did pre-launch all these apps multiple times. It just took much longer. I did pre-launch these apps multiple times. So let's go ahead and hit Geekbench 6. And you could see pretty good there. 3D Mark. Faster on the right. And we'll hit my results. You can see the results are definitely very different. We'll go to Speed Test Net. And we'll see that's quicker on the Samsung. Definitely. Let's go into InShot. We might get an ad here. So faster on the Samsung. So overall, in this general app test, we had a couple of crashes, or not a couple crashes, one crash there, and a weird slow loading time for Asphalt 9. But other than that, it was pretty neck and neck. You can't really see the 120 hertz advantages so much when just opening apps. You definitely notice though when going back through and scrolling and stuff like that. So it does become apparent in that respect. The animation's also slightly apparent, but the scrolling is where you really notice it. That's why you'll see a lot of comparisons with scrolling. So let's go ahead and relaunch the applications and see how this phone is performing here now that it is about to be spring 2024. This phone has been doing very well for its age. What is that focus peaking? Hold on, let me back it up a little. Got a little bit of breathing. I still use a Panasonic Lumix, which is known for that kind of stuff. That was a total reload it looked like on Free Fire. So let's go into Temple Run 2 here. Are we getting reloads? Wow, I was trying to brag about how good this iPhone 14 or 13 has been performing, but come on. Another reload. And now we're getting a slow launch there. Oh no. Oh no. That Subway did it close? Wow. This is actually the worst performance I've seen in a while on an iPhone. This could be simply down to the fact that she has a ton of apps on here and it's like clogging up the system. That might be something going on here. Best Buy with a reload. She has a ton of apps, tons of photos, tons of videos. Not all the phones I compare have this much content on it. So I'm wondering if that is bogging down the system. What do you guys think about that? But some of these apps reloading, it could just simply be that the 4 gigs of RAM is not enough anymore. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind for this video. All right, so let's take it to the Sammy boy. You could see everything super smooth. I expect buttery performance on here. This is a brand new phone. just came out a little while ago. I'm not giving it credit there. It just relaunched Asphalt 9. But you can see with the good lock enhancements, it does avoid that double swipe gesture, which is pretty fun. I do like it. I actually love Good Lock. That's a great app. It's very fun to use. Not sponsored. I just like the customizations. If they want to sponsor it, reach out. Let's go into Starbucks, and we'll go to eBay here, and we'll go to Amazon, and we'll go to Groupon. Some of these things are looking a little bit slower than I've seen on S24 Ultra as well, but this definitely performed here better than the iPhone 13 for sure. All right, so an absolutely gorgeous score here for the Samsung Galaxy S24. Not trying to be totally biased, but wow, this is a very impressive score if I'm being objective with you. Like, there's not a lot of phones that are getting 4631 on the Wildlife Extreme with an average frame rate of 27.73. So this is another rocket in your pocket, scoring better than 92% of other devices. We're done with the test. I'm just gonna go ahead and start Geekbench over there since we're done. Over here we have a 2236 and a 13.4, so nearly doubling the score on the Galaxy S24. This only scoring better than 50% of devices. So while the iPhone 13 is a great phone for everyday use, newer phones are nearly 50%. Well, I'm pushing a little bit. They're close to that. They're more like 40% faster here in 2024. How does that affect your daily? Just means consistent raw performance that makes your everyday life just zero lag when it comes to phones. Let's just put it that way. It's zero lag. It's super smooth. If you go to the 15, you're not going to notice a massive difference because it's still employing a 60 hertz panel. But 13 is acceptable, not overly impressive, I would say, with the 3D mark. Let's hit CPU benchmark, and I'll be back in when they are finished up testing here. And our final CPU benchmark scores are in, and you could see the iPhone shockingly wins here in single. Well, I'm not so shocked because the iPhone always wins in Geekbench, usually in some area. 6302 in the multi-core score, and according to prior results, this is actually a little bit lower on my device than the average, but not by much. And then on the multi-core, pretty close to the average as well. But the Samsung went out in the multi-core. I can tell you right now that the iPhone 13 feels a little toastier than the Samsung for sure, like more warm to the touch. But other than that, and it's clearly the Samsung's doing a little bit better heat management these days. Again, it could be down to her battery too. Let me check the battery here. It could be down to the battery as well. Let me check the health. Yeah, we're at 93%, so this is not 100% capacity either. I'm not sure if that is affecting it as well. So let's go ahead and check the internet performance speed here for the iPhone first, and then we'll switch it over here and talk about the Galaxy S24. So not bad, but I do expect much faster speeds for the download on the Samsung. And I had somebody was saying the other day, it doesn't matter, your network speeds vary. No, the Samsung phones, even on the same network, same Wi-Fi, same server, it's been getting faster download speeds. That's just what it is. And whether you agree with it or not, I find my Samsung phones have faster downloads. And that's going for a lot of the iPhones. Let's hit go here on the S24. And that's not me saying, once again, a lot of people think because my take on this is kind of strong, comes off kind of strong, that it's like I'm being biased. No, I'm telling you, so look at this. We're hitting nearly 700 down on the S24. That is much faster download on the same Wi-Fi. So, and one thing I noticed too is that this phone tends to get better 5G performance as well. That means on your mobile data system. So pretty good there. Samsung takes it on this one. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up here with a camera test on both phones. 3, 2, and go. Faster on that initial launch for the iPhone. As Samsung gets its first camera launch, will it change? No, the iPhone's still faster to launch there. Let's do it again. 3, 2, go. Still faster on the iPhone. And then we go backing it out. The iPhone has a smoother transition between lenses, but a lot more reach, a lot more versatility on a Samsung phone. So if you were considering doing an upgrade from your iPhone 13 to the S24, you definitely will be getting a lot of upgrades. But you would have to be okay with the One UI and the Android system. If you're not, and you want bigger upgrades, I'd recommend looking at the 15 Pros. The 15 has a lot of changes as well. It's faster, better cameras, better zoom. If you're okay with 60 hertz, that could be a great change as well. Let me know your thoughts on this one here. Which would you pick? And do you have either of these or you plan on buying one? Comment that down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.